everybody. It's finally time to work on the corn head here. This is the last thing that really needs gone through, and will probably complete the Gleaner Revival series. We got a grain head that's working alright, you know, outside of a little few things here and there. The combine's working outside a few things here and there. At this point, anything that needs to be done to them two would just be maintenance and upgrades and stuff like that. Like I said, the head, it's off that other machine that we used for parts, so it's not even the original head that was bought with the two that we're reviving. So this corn head was with them, and I haven't touched it at all. So I brought it in here. It was supposed to rain all day, and it rained off and on all day, but I didn't even come out here to work on it. It just changed the plans. So the only thing I've done to it is I figured out how to flip these snouts forward, and this would be better if it was on the machine because they would flip forward more. But all you have to do is there's a bolt on each side about a foot down from the top. You pull them two bolts out and they'll flip up. I didn't know it, but I took the 3 bolts out here on that middle one. I didn't realize that that didn't come with it, so I'll have to put them 3 bolts back in. And what we're going to do is, there's grease fittings on these sprockets down here. Well, that one's missing a grease fitting. This one has a grease fitting. So we're going to get those greased. We're going to get everything blown out. We're going to lube all the chains. And if you haven't noticed, these chains, they're lined up straight across from each other. They're supposed to be alternated like that. So we will spin them chains, get them right. It looks like, see that? See that? It's not a slip clutch. It's a ratcheting clutch, I think is what that's called. It is tripped. So something's probably locked up somewhere. That's wonderful. So that's why them are not lined up like they should be. So that means another one's probably ratcheted at one time. You might be able to see how it's not sitting down in there. It's dark. But we got to go through. These chains need cut off. They're pretty much locked up in junk. And everything else is kind of under shield, other than the gathering chains that were stuck out. But we're going to give them a good hit of oil and see what happens. We'll top the oil off in a gearbox. I'm eventually going to switch them over to corn head grease. You can see that one's all covered in oil. And as far as I know, those are the only 2 gearboxes on this. Everything else is run off a series of chains and sprockets, I do believe. I haven't really been under to look at it, and I don't remember. See, when we had the M2, we had a 6-row corn head, and I never really did much work to it. I think I replaced a bearing on it. See, it had drive shafts that come out and hooked to the combine, straight to the combine, no chain crap. It was a black head. This is the orange head. Black heads were newer. But I think I changed a bearing in it and greased it. That was about it. We didn't use it very much. I think I might have used it twice. And then, you know, the fate of the M2, so we got rid of that corn head and everything. And this will be the first time I've really been into a corn head, and I'm only going into it because it sat outside for so long. It'll continue to sit outside till I get a building put up, but we got to go through and make sure everything's going to be workable, because, you know, we got 4.5 acres of corn to take off. So notice this guy, he's got a grease fitting on it, but explain to me how you're supposed to get to that grease fitting. You pretty much got to take the tin off of it. It needs a 90 degree on it. Maybe we'll put one in it. Same as that one over there. I got a book for this corn head, so, but it doesn't do a very good job. I think when it shows you grease and everything, it's got all the tin off of it. You know, it's one that they took apart for the picture purpose of the manual, but we'll get it figured out. I have ear savers that can go on here. They're sitting right there behind that generator. I don't know if I'll put them on or not. The black corn heads, I think their snouts stood up higher, if I remember right, and they act as like an ear catcher, but they don't look like they've ever been on here. But we're going to be shelling a lot of little corn, so I might put them on there and see how it works. If I don't like them, I can always take them off. They're not that hard to put on. You flip them up, and they have bolts. And it's even got the bolts already with them. But they would go on there like that. Kind of deflect the ear down into the gathering chains. But we'll see how it does on corn, and then maybe next year, if it needs stuff, you know, I think I can get new knives for the snapping rolls and stuff like that. Hopefully the gathering chains work. They're kind of expensive. I think they're like $100 a piece, and there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, had to make sure, you know. But they're like $100 a piece. Now, I was watching Ethan, and he's doing his Oliver corn head, and he thinks that he can get John Deere chains from Shoop that'll fit. I haven't checked the Shoop, but what I found for whatever I looked at, they were like $98 a piece. But he thinks he can get John Deere ones for his for like $40 a piece. And he said that most of these are like a standard size, so maybe if we need new ones, we can get them from Shoop. But anyways, what we're going to do is get these 3 snouts flipped up and blow all the crap out and look. And I haven't decided if I want to put this back on the combine or not. I probably will to do everything underneath of it, or I could flip it up and block it. I might do that. I could probably get the jack under it, tilt it back, put some blocks under it. That'll let them snouts tip forward more. Why don't we try that? I'm not even pointing you guys at the corn head. What a goof. Okay, let me do some thinking, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I jacked it up with a jack, and we got jack stands under the front. She's sitting about level, so that's actually about where you need it to check the oil in the gearbox. It says put the head on the combine and pick it all the way up. That's where your oil level needs to be. So let's set you down here, and we'll get this other 2 snouts flipped up. When we're done with this head for the year, I have a 55-gallon drum of used oil, and we're going to think this bad boy used oil. These chains, probably the edge of the leaves. I like to find some good galvanized paint maybe, and then you must put some paint on it. Working in this heavy highway, all the guardrails and stuff that's galvanized along the roadways, if you chip any of the paint while you're putting it together, you gotta fix it so it don't rust. And you can get galvanized spray paint, or we can get cold galvanizing paint by the gallon, but that stuff is really expensive. Paint it on. It won't quite match what's on here. But I would love to complete flips up like that. That one doesn't go quite as far. It's because that gathering chain's in the way. It's hitting on that chain right there. So, on to the next one. Let me get some stuff rounded up and we'll go through and clean this head off a little bit, see what we're looking at. Okay, let's give this baby a blowdown. Alright, so it's the next day, and yesterday after I turned the camera off, I did go and put a grease zerk in the two that were missing grease zerks. Now, they threaded in hard, which means they won't come out easy. I mean, I threaded them in and out, but the grease zerks that are in here are a tapered one, and I have tapered 1/4 inch to go in there. It's just they go in hard too, but I was trying to put a 90 degree in there and I couldn't get it threaded, and I can't get to that one. I'm not sure what the proper way to get to them is, because like I said, you'd have to take off the whole freaking side. So I don't know if you adjust them over to where you can get to them, or if something's bent. And maybe they're supposed to be under the tin like this one, so you can reach up in there and get to it. You guys can't see, well shoot. Can't even reach up in there to get to it. Them need to be 90 degree ones, but I need to be able to get the threading tool in there to thread them. So I don't know much about the corn heads, what they need for adjustment, so it's a good thing we got a manual, because I don't really know what I need to do next. I mean, I could go through and grease it and lube it and everything. That only goes so far, but I suppose maybe we could try to get these chains where they need to be. And I wonder if I can turn that if I put a big wrench on it or something. Put the big old crescent wrench on it and see if I can't just slip that clutch. They'll probably want to turn everything. Ooh, it's gonna want to turn that, so that's not gonna work. Ooh. Let's try the one that's slipped though. It's turning the whole thing. It's crazy. turning that nut. Thought it would put that clutch back down again. Dog. Apparently not. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read the manual. Like I said, I really didn't know where I wanted to go with this today, because I don't know much about the corn heads. What needs adjusted. So, I guess we're going to read the manual. And the manual I got, I'll show you. It's this right here. And I actually think I got this from the guy I bought the combines off of. I think he had it. So let me go do some reading and we'll see what we want to do. Okay, I just got done reading the manual. So there's adjustments we got to check for here, here, here. Where am I at? From like here to here, the adjustments of these, the stripper plates, the stripper rolls, all that stuff. There's a lot of checking to do, and there's not that much greasing to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and I'm going to grease everything. So we got these greased. I got to do the end ones, and I think what I got to do for these, so you see these bolts here where you can slide this side to side. That's what we're going to have to do to get to that, is to slide it all the way out, because the book states for any work that you have to do for the gathering chains under the end shields, you gotta just reach up in there. So wonderful. But we got a grease fitting on the front and back of each stripper roll, and there's a grease fitting for these, I believe, and there's grease fittings for the drive bearings back here, and probably a couple more that I forgot about. So I will go through and grease everything, and then that'll be done, and then we'll go through and adjust all these. Now, it didn't say anything about the gathering chains being offset, like how these end ones are. Didn't say anything about it, which, I mean, they should be. But even the pictures in the book showed them about like that close together. Them ones are about straight across. Oh, tired. But yeah, let's get down and do some greasing. Okay, so I went through underneath and I greased the front of these snapping rolls here. They got a grease fitting just behind that auger head. You see the green grease there? So there's a grease fitting on each one of those, and then at the back where these slip clutches are, there's a grease fitting for those. And there's supposed to be grease fittings for the drives back here, but I don't see them up in there. So I think somebody might have changed them with a different bearing, but I'll have to crawl up under here and maybe it's in there. But I also got these grease fittings exposed on the end, so what you do is you loosen up these bolts, but on this one, and then that'll slide back and forth. That's how you adjust that side to side. So I can get to them. Did that on both of them, and I'm going to swap them out to a 90. We'll try it, what the heck. That way I don't have to move these every time I need to grease it. So I also got to go through and figure out where they need to be adjusted to. And yeah, so let's get these changed out. I bought a tool right here that I can use to chase the threads. So let's try it. Alright, back at the corn head. What we're going to do is check spacings for, let's see how, let's get to the right page here. For the chain tensioners. So from that bracket to that bracket needs to be less than 9 1/4. We need from the bolt head to the bottom of the spring 7 9/16, and from looks like that nut to that bracket 2 1/8. So I guess we'll just make sure it's not bigger than 9 1/4. I gotta move. I already forgot. Bracket to bracket is 9 1/4. So we're gonna burn 2 inches, and it's right at 9 1/4. From that bolt head to the bottom of the spring, which looks like right at that nut, 7 9/16. Seems about right there. 2 1/4. Two and 1/8, I mean. That's all. In spec, it looks like remove chain length in this dimension reaches 9 1/4, and we're right at 9 1/4. What side of the bracket did we go to though? Like the face to the other face. And we're like right there. I don't think we need to remove one yet, but that spring they're about the same. But see this? That bolt head's against that. This bolt head's almost against it. The next one over has a big gap, so let me check some more of these and see what we got. Okay, so those down there still have life left in them, but see, this one's got just a little gap. That one's got a little life left in it. That one could have a link removed. The very end one could have a link removed. This one could have a link removed. But stay. But I don't want to remove links on any of these yet. I want to run it this year, see what it does, you know, in case we got to replace those gathering chains. And you can't just remove one link. I think it said you have to remove 2 links. So I don't have any parts to do so. I'd have to get, see, this is offset, so they removed 1 link out of this one already. I'd have to get some offset links, and yeah, or even no, I think I'd have to have that offset, because you would remove this. I don't know. I'd have to get some more links, and with it getting close, I don't want to have to do that right now, so those will stay the way they are for now. There's none that are completely like sloppy loose. They still have tension. The spring still has tension on them, so then we need 2 9/16, but from where I don't know, and that's for the gathering chains. Front chain guides. For most crop conditions, the chain flights should extend slightly over the edge of the stripper plates, 2 9/16 inches from the face of the chain guide to the edge of the stripper plate. So that's the chain guide. 2 9/16 to the edge of the stripper plate. Okay, I gotcha. Where did I put my tape measure? Way over here. So, what that is, whoa. Battery is already down to 57%. And I just started using you guys, and it's been on charge for 2 days. Them off-brand GoPro batteries are garbage. Hold on here. That means 2 9/16 from this side, probably. The book doesn't do a very good job of showing that. I just lost a page. Here we go. Okay, it looked like it was opposite. It looks like it had me going across, but it don't. So 2 9/16. That just looks like it's gonna have to go. Yeah, we're at 2 inches. So it needs to go over a little bit. None of these are very straight. And then I didn't have one for the rear, I don't think. You just want 1 3/8 between the stripper plates up here and 1.5 inches at the back, which I think we determined the other day we'd have to move them. Rear chain guides. Doesn't give a dimension for the rear chain guides. You just want the chain even with the stripper plates, right? Rear chain guides should be set so the chain flights are even with the edge of the stripper plates. If there is a tendency for material to lodge between the back of the stripper plates in some crop conditions, it may be necessary to remove the chain flights in towards the center of the row to dislodge material at the back of the stripper plates. So they're all set kind of in, but I think that's because the fronts are set so far out, because the chain guides aren't even touching the chains. It's probably because the fronts are set so far in. So it looks like we got to go, let's read here. Front. The further past the edge of the stripper plates the chain flights extend, the more aggressive they will be. When in down corn, move the front chain guides towards the row centers for 2 reasons. The flights are more aggressive and will pick up and guide down stalks. The flights can dislodge small ears that might wedge between the stripper plates. So we might want to leave them in because we're going to have a lot of small ears of corn. So maybe I won't adjust anything, except I got to adjust the outer 2 because I moved them to get grease zerks in them. So maybe we'll just leave that where it is and see how it does. It says further past the edge of stripper plates, the chain flights extend, the more trash they will feed into the combine. Do not extend the chain flights any further than necessary for the crop conditions because the excess trash will cut down the capacity of the combine. Well, we're not going to be doing no bumper crop, so we'll just leave that where it's at. Another dimension I have, I don't know why the rear of the stripper plate opening should be greater than the front, so we might have to adjust the stripper plates yet, just to see how they are. Another dimension that I have is for the nuts on top of the spring, or the ratcheting clutches. Should be 1 inch. And that's where they are. They all look the same. I measured the snapping rolls already. There's some slip clutches. Gotta check. And then just a bunch of chains to oil and lube up. So let's check the stripper plates. I wish I had need 1 3/8 block. This stupid tape measure. It might get me something that's 1 3/8 and 1.5 inches. And then we'll adjust these where they need to be. I believe to adjust the stripper plates, you just take these, you flip these little stops up and you adjust them with those bolts there. So let's do that and see if we can get something that's 1 3/8 and something that's 1.5 inches, and we'll get these set and go from there. Okay, I got my end chains tightened up and set. I put these ear savers on. Now, the guy that had this drilled these sets of holes in them, and it looks like he did that so that way those would be back more in line with the deflectors on the end. I imagine he had them off because he had downed corn, and that would probably keep downed corn from pulling in. So, and then he probably put them back further because once your downed corn gets to here, I mean, it's not really gonna go up anyways. So I imagine that's why he did it, but I put them on there for now. We'll try them out. We'll see how it goes. So I've been making chains, and I got my chains cut to length, 10 foot, and I cut a link out and I had 3 extra. So that's how much was there. Now I'm in a bit of a problem. So we have here 60H roller chains, heavy duty roller chain. Now I don't know if heavy duty special, but I bought that from Rural King. And here we have number 60 connecting links from Tractor Supply. These will not fit the Rural King chain. They're the right link, but the links, I guess I could show you one of these little ones. So there's the Rural King chain, and here's the TSC, and it's going to be hard to tell on camera, but the Rural King chain is thicker than the TSC chain. I guess I can maybe show you, but you see, just the slightest. It's just enough. It's the thickness of those. I can't get the keeper on it. So I'm gonna have to go to a different Rural King and get number 60 chain or 60 links, because TSC ones won't fit this chain, which sucks because I bought 2 packs of these and I already opened one. I don't want to take it back because that's just a waste in my opinion. Well, I drive by TSC every day, but I've already got this opened. I bought some number 50 links. Hopefully they'll work. I got 50 chain here, and then I bought some 50 chain, or I've had somewhere, but I got a Rule King number 50 link right here for comparison. That's the 60. That's a 60. That was the 50. Number 50. They are the same thickness. So my 50 links will work. My 60 links won't work. But here I have 60 offset links. So that sucks. But I need to get this corn head. I'm gonna check the oil in them real quick, since it's about where it'd be sitting on the combine, and I need to get in here and get this picked up and out of here, because the Farm All In might be leaving. I put it up for sale or trade because I want to get a 460 or a 560 or a 400, and I got a guy coming to look at it either later today or tomorrow. So this corn head's got to get out of here, and that was my goal for today, is to get the corn head out and at least, you know, try it out, see how it's going to work. But that whole chain link thing throws a wrench in my plan, partially. But let me get this mess cleaned up in front. I'm gonna get the combine fired up, let it warm up, and we'll get this corn head out of here. Alright, we got our chain situation figured out finally. So they do sell 2 different 60 pitch chain. This is 60H, which is heavy duty, and then they have regular 60. My Roll King has stuff all screwed up because I don't think they have a spot for 60H master links on their board of links, so who knows what's going on there, but there is a difference. I don't think TSC sells heavy duty 60, so just keep that in mind when you're running around getting chains. So we're going to put the chain on here, and it's going to go to this side of that and the bigger gear for now till we figure out. I think that's the one we need to run it on. Chain for each side. So whew, man, get later in the day or get tired. So let's get this on here. Okay, I got this one on. The piece of chain that I had left over, which was 3 links, I put in there. So it's got 2 masters in it, which it bothers me, but whatever. The other side, I'm gonna have to go and get some offset links. We'll have to put 3 of them in it probably, which I don't like, but I'm not gonna buy a whole other roll of 60 chain to cut 3 links out of it, because next time I buy chain, I'm going to make sure I don't buy the heavy duty 60. I'm just gonna get straight 60, and yeah, these will be the only chains that are on the machine that are going to be 60H chain. So I'll have to go get some offset, and I did buy some 60 offset chain, but guess what? They're straight 60, so that won't work. I'm gonna have to run the Rule King. We might get this going today, we might not. We'll see, because I might not run the Rule King today, but I'll keep you updated. Okay, we've been plagued by problems, but I think we're finally ready to try this corn head out. But before we do, I'm not teasing you or dragging anything out. I just want to show you some stuff that I've done, some stuff that we've been going through. So you guys probably seen my little short that I made about the chain links being wrong, but I have 5 offsets and a master in here, which it is what it is. I don't have that tight yet because I'm going to run it, and then I'll get that tight, because the chain is loose on the wrong side because it'll feed that way, and it's tight on the top right now. So we got that. I was talking about how I wanted to change all these wood blocks over to sprockets and pulleys. Well, Rule King didn't have anything that I liked, so I found a bucket of parts that I got when I got these, and I had some of these wood bearings in there, and I'll make more of them. Them won't be hard to make. You get a hole saw, and you can hole saw, make 2 at once, cut them down and do that. So I put that in there. It's been charging with the solar charger, so hopefully it's got enough juice. It's been a few days. I put 2 new taillights on it and a new SMV sign the other day, so I didn't feel like recording that. That wasn't nothing. The wire was already back here for the tail light. I just had to hook them up. I got 10 LED round lights coming for it. We're probably going to put 8 of them on here. And I got some license plates lights. I'm going to try in the grain bin, see if they do good in there. So, moment of truth. Let's fire it up. Oh, we got to check, see if our fan speed sensor works. Oh, let me go get the battery charger. Okay, I got that one freed up. I went through and I lubed all the chains on with penetrating oil, and then nobody had any chain lube, so I got some white lithium grease and I did that. I got an idler underneath that's loose, so I got to adjust that, and I'm going to take a link, maybe 2 out of the chain that I put on this side, because it's dangling real good, and if I tighten it up it won't get any tighter. So I'm just going to speed this up. We'll see what it does.